All right, so welcome back to the Slide Podcast. I am your host, Coach Aaron, and I am the only host today. So everybody had emergencies to get out and go to today. And I did not want to miss this interview. So today joining us is the backflipping BlueLou Lewis Williams from Minnesota. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So I think I found you. I think it was the TikTok. I believe it was. Man, all this stuff runs together and gets me confused these days. But
Yeah.
man, dude, I found you, and all I saw was feet, hands, everything flying everywhere on a softball field. So, like, this dude's crazy. So if you're listening right now and you haven't saw BlueLou or the backflipping umpire, go look him up on your social media. So, all right, BlueLou, tell us about you, man. Like, so you an umpire? Do you do just softball?
No, I do actually I do softball and baseball,
Okay,
but I mainly do softball more. I get scheduled to do softball more.
gotcha. Well,
Yeah.
dude, so you're an umpire. This is, usually umpires are getting booed out of the stadium or off the field and out of the complex. But dude, I'm hearing, I'm seeing that everybody's asking you to come back and want you to do their game. So tell all our listeners out there, man, who BlueLou is.
So BlueLou actually was crazy. Is BlueLou is something that like completely happened on accident. Like BlueLou was created on accident. So basically I started umpiring back when I was in college. I went to school. Went to school out in St. Cloud University, and I was
Mm-hmm.
in college. And I started doing officiating basketball at first, actually. And then the guy who I was getting assigned to for basketball, he was like, "You ever thought about doing baseball, softball?" And I looked at him. I'm like, "No, I never thought about it." Then at the time, he said they paying decent. I'm like, "Okay, you know what? Actually, I mean, I'm the type of person I got an open mind. I like to try new stuff. So
Yeah.
when it was a opportunity, I'm like, okay, you know what? Actually, I've never done it before, but yeah, why not? Let me try it. So I had went out and did it, and actually the first it was funny is I played baseball once, but it was like freshman year. I played my freshman year high school. I was a
Okay.
little pitcher. I used to throw a little curve slider, but it's been a
Okay.
minute since I ain't played. By the time I done because I didn't watch it. I just played. And I
Yeah.
never knew nothing about baseball or nothing. I just played because I was a nice athlete. I could throw.
Yeah.
And then I went into up in that season and they threw me. I remember the first game, it threw me right into a JV game, a softball
Oh,
game,
wow.
JV. I ain't had no training, no preparation, no none. They just needed umps
You
bad.
knew
They like,
you,
all
knew-
right,
you
up
knew what a
it, get
strike
your
and a
mirror.
ball was, right?
Yeah, I knew what the striking the ball was, but what was crazy is one little girl, the girl hit a foul ball, and I'm just staring. It wouldn't go over the fence. I'm just looking at it like, dang, and then I'm looking like, why she ain't running? And then the coach like, don't call foul ball, and I'm like, oh, okay, I was so caught up in the moment. I'm like, okay, dang, what I'm doing, I gotta up the game. So at first, it was a little challenging, but after a while, I just started, sticking to the mechanics, sticking to the basics. And then, first I was just calling regular strikes and balls, strike, put my hand up, strike three, just doing, the regular what
Yeah.
they tell you. And then I remember right before COVID had happened, and I was umping, and I was doing I want to say like an A-grade game, and I was just doing the regular strike count. And then one of the little boys was like, "Hey, Blue, you got to get something better than that, And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I remember going home that day. I'm like, "Dang, I just got challenged." So I'm like, "Okay, what can I do?" I'm starting to think like, "Okay, what kind of strike counts can I do?" And I just remember I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go bowling. I'm gonna like strike them out and do like a bowling. And I was like, okay, that'd be funny too. And then I was like, all right, you know what? The strike three, like you doing strike dart
Yeah. Shoot a bug.
strikes. I'm like, okay. So then I started trying to get creative with it. And then I remember COVID happened. So then actually it was crazy. I had a whole year to just sit there, and I'm like, dang, I ain't have no sports or nothing. And then I remember I got back into it after COVID, and I was just doing the, basic. I was doing the regular strike, but then for like strike three, I was doing the bow and arrow already. And that's
Okay.
all I was really doing, like at that time. And then I had remembered I had read a book, and it was called the compound effect, and it was basically talking about like if you got talent or something, put it on display for the world to see. You never know who will, you know, be amazed with what you could do. And I had always remember like, oh, okay, I can flip, and, you know.
Oh,
I
you
had
just
started.
remembered that. I can flip.
Yeah, I just remember like, okay, I can flip after I read that book because it has got me in my thoughts. Start
Yeah.
thinking like, okay, how can I be more creative? How can I make it more fun, entertaining? And, you know, man, I could flip, and I started flipping back when I was like 12. So I remember the next day, I had went out there and I was umping, and I did the strike three. And what's crazy is before I even did the backflip, this was like earlier in the day during the tournament. Mm-hmm. And it was talking about the power of cell phone, and, you know, put your social medias, take advantage of stuff like that. And right after I was doing the strike three, I just hear a whole bunch of chuckling in the background. Then I actually look back, and the parents doing it with me at the same time. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, you know. So it's actually, you know, most times you hear like parents be mad and stuff. You know, I'm just out there doing regular strike three. They laughing, chuckling. And then after the game, one of the parents came up to me like, "Hey, Blue, you got one of the greatest strike threes you ever seen." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's what's up." And they're like, "We actually got it on video." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Okay, let me see the video." And she said, they showed me, and I'm like, "You mind you send me the video?" Mm-hmm. And I remember that day prior to that, I wasn't like on no social media, really, no TikTok, Instagram, nothing really, Facebook, YouTube. And I remember that day I just made all social media, and I posted the video there, just me doing the strike three. And then I was like, okay. Later that day, I started thinking like, okay, they thought that was smooth. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna incorporate the backflip with it. And I did the strike three ball with the strike three, and then I did the backflip after. Then the crowd just went crazy, and it was just like, oh my God, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. Just, I probably did like 50 backflips that day. And that was when I knew like, okay, this is the beginning of something. You know, I was like, I started to try different stuff and get out your comfort zone. Because a lot of us, you know, as umpires, that's all you hear is that the parents be, you know, yelling at the umpires. You don't want to.
Right.
Anytime I ask like my friends or something, you want to come umpire or something, they be like, "No, I don't know what I'm doing." You know, I'm like, but like I said, it started from there, and then so BlueLou. I remember after that, I was doing 10U, and, you know, they do a lot of cheers and stuff. Yep. And they be like, you know, 5 balls, they F-O, the F-O-U-L-U-L, girl, you fouled that ball. And I just remembered all of that. So I'm working like 8 hours a day, and I'm going to sleep at night. And these cheers, they just stuck in my head. They just ringing in my head. I'm trying to sleep, you know. Then I remember that the next day, or one of the tournaments I was playing, and the little girl hit a 5 ball, and I just accidentally said it like F-O, because, you know, it was just in my head.
Yeah,
you know?
It was your reaction.
Yeah, it was just my reaction. I just said it. And then I remember when I said it, and then the kids, they got louder. They was like, F-O. And then like it got quiet. And then they was waiting for me to say the next one. I'm like, okay, U-L, today, U-L. They're like, okay. So then like that day I started doing the cheers with them and stuff, 5 ball cheers, you know. If they get a ball for her, she's a walker, just like Betty Crocker. Go Betty, go Betty.
Dude, I haven't heard any of these. So these are all new to me, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, softball.
That's crazy, man. So how many games do you do now?
Normally
on a normal week.
Oh, so in the thick of softball, I'm working 7 days a week for the most part.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm working like, so I do my regular what I do, my career job, then I get off. Then I go do high school or league games. Actually, so like I said, I'm just doing what I love to do. Like it was fun for me. I'm doing the cheers, the kids having fun, everybody having fun. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, I was like, just started becoming like, it's a part of me now. When I'm not doing it, I'm like bored. I'm like, dang, I need to be, you know, out there umping but I'm doing more than just softball and stuff. You know, I'm like, I think it's important for me to be involved in sports like this, with working with the youth, just to let them know, you know, you got to be competing, but you got to have fun too. You know, when a lot of times you don't ever see an umpire or official having fun, doing cheers with you, backflipping. So I'm like, okay, I just found ways that I can incorporate that into the game, make it more fun, and, you know, let them know that they got to cheer. So sometimes even the losing team, they ain't even mad after the game. Everybody just had a blast.
I can imagine, dude. It's like a party. I mean, I just struck out, but now I want to turn around and watch the umpire. So, I mean, that desensitizes like the fear of failure and losing. I love it. So, I mean, so the first time you did a backflip on the field, that was when the parents was there and they gave you the big applause.
Oh yeah, God, wait, what would you say? You know, some people just do it again, right away. They do it again. And that's when I did a combination because I could do a combination of them in a row. At first I did one. Then went and did a combination of them, and everybody put out their cell phones and start recording. I'm hey, you send me the video, and start posting it, you know.
So you read a book. I love the fact. So I read the news article that was published about you, and you mentioned that book in that news article. So for all of our listeners out there, and our listeners are players, coaches, and parents, what's the deal with this book, Compound Effect? Like, how did that help you figure this out? Because I think there's a lot of kids out there that have all this talent, and that's why we created the show, was to give kids a way to, you know, put their talents out there, build their confidence. So the Compound Effect, how did that book help you?
That book helped me because it's telling you how to just take advantage of the opportunity around you. And you got to realize that time don't wait for nobody. You know, we all get the same amount of 24 hours in our day. We all are blessed by God with talents and just natural abilities that he gave us. And it's for us to be able to put them on display and help people out around. You know, it's just talking about being a good person, helping people around you and taking advantage of opportunities that come your way. Whatever's trending, you know, see what you can do. You know, if it's a new dance that's coming out, whatever. If it's a trending dance, then see how you can have a counter or some type of opportunity off of that. And so it's teaching you how to leverage your opportunities around you.
And get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, get out your comfort zone, be networking. Like, your network is your network. You know, at the end of the day, people who you know is never what you know, it's who you know. And we always hear that saying at the end of the day. So I just always being good to people, being good to whoever you come across, and just trying to have a good impact. So that's my philosophy that I like to live by. You know, whoever crossed my path, I want to impact them, have a good impact in their life, you know, something they can remember, create a memory that they can always remember. So
that's right.
When I'm at the games, when I'm doing the backflips and I'm out there all day working 8 hours a day, cheering the whole time, it's just it's crazy. The kids, I got the kids backflipping with me, cheering, dugouts, I'm going dugout to dugout, they screaming at each other. I'm like, oh my, it's crazy because the kids getting into it, they back and forth. And I'm like, and at the end of the day, and I go back home at home and I'm thinking about it all. And I'm like, dang, I remember, I'm having good memories. So, and then I come back the next day and I'm seeing these kids, constantly seeing them a week later, a month later. And then you know, their parents and kids come back up to, oh my God, that was one of the best, you know, games I ever been in. That's all it's about. You know, I just want to be able to, it's telling you to just take advantage of opportunities. And I see how people going to embrace you when, you know, you're just naturally good. And then, like I said, I'm putting my talent on display as well. I'm backflipping the whole time and I'm dancing, doing the gritty for the kids and, you know, dancing for them and everybody having a good time, man. You know,
dude, I love it. I feel like you and I are very similar, and that's been my goal is, you know, make an impact on everyone you come in contact with. And, you know, if you can put a smile on someone's face, put a smile on their face. And what's funny, Lewis, and I'm gonna call you BlueLou, but what's funny is that I've got a resting, you know, what they call that resting angry looking face. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, I got that. But when I'm around kids and when I'm out the field in the complex, man, that's just a whole nother environment. I get to be like this alter ego person. And my goal is to always make an impact, you know, make a positive impact on these kids. And dude, I think, you know, with you know, there's an umpire shortage throughout the country, and it's funny. And actually, no, it's not funny. It's funny to hear that because you think there's a shortage of people, but the reality of it is there's just nobody that wants to umpire anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I think it's kind of scary. I know we've had some tournaments get canceled in the area because we couldn't get enough umpires, and really? It's rough. So now we haven't told everyone where you're from. So you're from Minnesota, right?
Yeah, I live in Minnesota. Yeah.
Okay. And what's Milwaukee, Wisconsin? Okay. So what's baseball, softball like up there? Because you guys get too much snow.
Oh man, it's crazy. Like last year, I remember it snowed a lot, so the season kept getting. We kept games, or it'd be too cold sometimes, so the games kept getting pushed back. And then at one point, they just started having tournaments on weekends to make up games for high school. So
It's crazy.
it's
Now, what's
pretty
the high
fun
school
though.
kid? What's the high school kids do when you're backflipping out there? Because that's not normal. I mean, it's
Oh
not normal
yeah.
for the rec leagues and for
Hmm.
the youth, but what do they do when they get into the high school? What do they? How do they react?
Oh, you believe it or not, they be amazed too. Did you see that? Everybody watching, like, oh, did you see that? Hey, do it again. Parents be like, do it again. Pull out the phone. The kids like, hey, do it again. So then I'll do it, but of course I ain't trying to do it too much. Like high school is a little different. So like
Yeah,
I incorporated, found ways to incorporate the backflip into the game where I ain't just completely backflipping. So on the last strike three of the inning, to reward the pitcher, or I'll do the strike three, then I backflip, then gritty for him and stuff, and then sometimes uh it's like different when tournaments is different than like when I'm doing actually high school games, because like
right.
high school games is more, but chill back. I'm still doing different strike counts, the bowling strike counts, right, and then strike three. Then I got one where I spin, so I got moves like strike moves, and then
Yeah.
strike three is always the bow and arrow, so everybody know that you out, and then
I was telling you before we started recording, Kyson, the kid umpire, dude. I'm gonna have to get him connected with you because I told him, I'm like, man, you need some signature moves, and dude,
yeah.
I think you're a good person for him to reach out to. So, man, what do you think's the problem with youth sports and why umpires are choosing to either leave, the game, or people are just choosing not to participate? Like, what do you think's really the problem?
I feel like it's multiple problems. One, first you got to start off with like a lot of these sports nowadays. Like I said, it ain't about fun no more. It's about competing. Like they
That's right.
got so many teams. You got A, gold, silver, bronze team, A, B. It's so competitive. So everybody trying to make these teams and stuff. So like once once you don't make the A team and you might feel like you're not good enough. A lot of these kids might feel like they're not good enough for something. And then I see it a lot in youth
Yep.
sports where the kids, it's just not, they not having fun. So when they not having fun with it, say if you even new to the sport and you trying out there and it's hard to hit a pitch, like especially baseball, softball, it's hard. It's hard to hit that
It
ball.
is.
And starting off young and you can't get a hit. And a lot of times you get down and stuff, and then you got your the coaches so into it now, they yelling at the kids, mad. You got the coaches mad at you. A lot of parents be, yelling at the kids too sometimes. Like, sweet, like it's a lot of pressure. Like I feel like the kid parents and coaches can put on kids nowadays. So all that pressure, then they just always down. So I feel like that's one reason. And another reason is just I feel like kids just nowadays, it's just so much, it's like so different from when we was growing up. Nowadays that they got a lot of social media. A lot of kids just on this social media a lot, playing video games, and not
Hmm.
it's like, it's sad to say, like a lot of kids are getting stuck into the technology part of it where they don't even want to be involved no more.
I
They
know.
want to go out there and compete, and like I said, they making it so much about competing, but at the end of the day you got to go out there and learn, learn something new and continue to develop. So a lot of kids just not into it no more. It's
Well,
hard. It's hard.
it's a game of, with baseball and softball, we say this all the time on the show, but it's a game of failure, and you're going to fail more times than you succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And, for some kids, I feel like, like you said, the phone is their escape. And when they know, like, I can either play on my phone or I can go out and, fail, I think they
Mm-hmm.
choose the easy route. And I think parents sometimes need to push their kids. I was having a conversation with a coach yesterday, and a kid 4, 5, and 6 years old, I've heard some parents that say, well, they didn't want to play. And I'm like, well, if you gave them their choice, what would they want for supper tonight? Right. And so
Yeah.
sometimes kids don't know what's good for them, but I think we got to get them off the phones and,
Mm-hmm.
interacting with people face to face. Like, I think that's where, like, so many kids these days struggle, is that face to face contact, and
Yeah. Cause
teaching them
like
how to
it's
interact with each other and be a teammate. And oh, I can get on my whole soapbox about that one, but no, I agree with you, man. I think the stress is unreal for even like the rec
yeah.
leagues, man. I'm a rec ball coach, and man, these people get intense, and I'm like, who cares about the score? Who cares? Like, we're not
Right.
going to remember these scores. I'm going to remember this backflipping umpire more than I remember, what the score is, and even if we won.
Right.
So I think what you're doing is incredible, man, and I love it. So, So do you get invited to do a lot of tournaments because of
Oh
your
yeah,
brand and who you are?
yeah. So actually, like this year, I've been getting reached out to. I'm going to Wisconsin for a tournament. Uh, I'm working on something with the Alabama, this team Alabama tournament.
Okay.
But yeah, not around the area though. I got people reach out to me on TikTok, like, hey, you want to come umpire in Big Lake? Cause like in Minnesota, I'm all over the state. And that's one thing about umping, like especially like when you doing something different and you getting your name out there, building a brand, whatever you're doing in life, you got to do it consistently,
That's
consistent. So
right.
I'm doing, like I said, I'm umping 7 days a week. And 7 days a week, I'm out backflipping. I'm just interacting with people, the kids face to face. I'm interacting with everybody face. That's another thing that's good about it, because you get, like, I'm getting the chance to interact with people, like you said, and me interacting with the kids is making them like, oh, okay, like, oh, you be cool and have fun
That's
too, and
right.
still, and then like it's crazy because parents and kids do. Some of the kids that I officiated, they reach out to me like, hey, you help our team become better. It was more fun after that game. We got better, got closer, started cheering for each other, doing more cheers. You made it more fun. Now, it's always good to hear that, because like I said, at the end of the day, that's all it's about. Like, you gotta find ways to incorporate fun
Dude,
and
I agree.
keep the
I mean,
sports.
that's awesome to hear that, the kids are realizing that you're helping them. I mean, because honestly,
Mhm.
what you're probably doing is backing the coach off of them, and you're probably backing the parents off of them so they can just focus on just playing the game. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's pretty awesome.
It's crazy though, because like people, like a lot of people online sometimes, people might comment like, dang, that's not professional, that's not. But I don't never hear no complaints, because it's like, dang, how could, like, and I'll be thinking about it too, like, dang, if I was a kid and I seen the umpire dancing, like even out there dancing for me, backflipping, whatever, I'd be like, dang, that's pretty dope. Because I can't think of no moment as a kid when I played a lot of sports, and I can't think of no moment really when I was really interacting with a ref for a lot, or they was, interacting with the kids a lot. A lot of times they be so serious and, just,
Well, and you're the bad guy most of the time. The official is never the
yeah,
good guy.
yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. Have you ever had a kid like flip on you, like that they're cheering you on, they loving what you're doing, and then you pull the bow back and you let it go, and they struck out, and they're like, "Oh snap! Hold on now, that wasn't a third strike." You ever had anybody snap
Ah,
on
yeah, man, it's funny. I got a couple stories. I remember
you?
one time. It's funny too. A lot of times, 'cause like when the kids, when they strike out, strike three, a lot of having fun. But then a lot of times I'm doing the young kids, they get the crying and stuff, going in the dugout crying.
I can only see it, dude. I can see it. You try to
Get
shoot them in the
mad.
back, no,
The
that's
coach
horrible.
like, you gotta swing, But one thing about me, like, they know I got a consistent strike zone. I'm telling them inside, outside corners. I'm calling they swing. If it's a close strike three, foul it off. Otherwise, I'm gonna give it to the pitcher.
I
So
like
I'm
it.
pretty
Okay.
consistent. I always tell them every day before every game. I'm calling inside, outside corners. If you got two strikes on you on the close strike three, foul it off.
Yeah, protect the
Otherwise, I'm
plate.
gonna give it to the pitcher.
That's right.
So
Well, I think it's I like it, man. I keep saying this, and every show I get so excited about our guests and who we're listening to, and like I heard you say earlier that the Lord gives us gifts, and I think there's a lot of kids even out there right now still wondering where their gifts are, and you didn't discover some of this until you got a little bit older, right? So for those kids
yeah.
out there that's frustrated and like, what are my gifts? Like, be patient. It's coming. What's your
Yeah.
shirt say? Your shirt says patience, right?
Oh, patience, man. Patience is virtue.
That's
It's actually
right.
my boy. Honestly, that's one thing you got to realize, like a long life. Like when I was playing sports, because I was a three-sport athlete growing up. I did football, basketball, and I did baseball. I was a one-hit wonder for baseball, though. So basically a two-sport athlete.
Right.
But in sports, you learning these like learning how to be disciplined. You got to be there on time. Practice start at 6:30. That means get there, at 6:15,
That's
6:10.
right.
Get there early. It's teaching you, how to be accountable, how this grit and all these skills that you learn through sports, like that you incorporate into real life. Like, and from me being so in sports my whole life, and then I took all the stuff that I learned from it and then just started incorporating into my regular life. And that's why I'm still doing evolved around sports, because if it still it's a part of who I am. So like I'm like, okay, how can I still be around and still have an impact on people. I didn't like at first I didn't even realize it that I was having an impact. I was just like I said, I was just out there having fun, just doing what I do. I would have if you would have told me like you that I would have been a known umpire or that everybody would have loved me as an umpire, even as a ref. I'm doing basketball too. Everybody want me as a ref, as an official. I would have never knew, you know, growing up, I never knew what I knew I wanted to like be an engineer and stuff. I want to be an engineer. I want to design something, create something one day that's gonna impact the world. But I never knew that I'd be able to do it in the way I'm doing now too. Like I'm still an engineer. So I went to college for I got my degree. I say that's one thing too. You just gotta realize that life is just every chapter of life is just building you up to the person you are today. You go in 5 years and in 2 days, tomorrow you're gonna be a different person, you know.
That's
Every
right.
day you just gotta be learning something new and just don't give up, just being patient and just constantly being good to people and taking care of what you need to take care of. And you never know what kind of doors that are open, you know, for you. That's one thing that I realized. And that's one thing I'm just study doing, you know. And that's one thing I wish that I could, you know, if you want to take away something, if you're younger and you're watching this, just keep staying with it, you know, just like I said, networking the people and just trying new stuff. You want to try something new. Like if I would have, he told me umpiring, I would have just been a negative mindset about it. Like you want to ump and no, you know, the parents gonna be yelling. I ain't never did that before. I'm gonna be bad at it. And that's like I said, I was saying earlier, that's a lot. That's why it's a shortage too, because a lot of people have that fear. And
Mm-hmm.
that's all they hear, like, oh man, umping, you know, their parents be after the umpires. And a lot of people ain't played baseball and softball. So, you know, but basketball, you man, it ain't no shortage on basketball refs because everybody think they know how to do basketball. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. Yeah. So you're not seeing the same shortage with basketball?
No, not as bad. It's a shortage to regard everywhere,
That's
but
interesting.
basketball is not as bad. No, you can easily like it's more easier for me to convince my boys to go do basketball than to come up. Now a
Gotcha.
lot of my boys umping. It's crazy because like since I started, I done got like 7, 8 of my boys to umpire and stuff and get involved in the sports. And you know, my other boy, he got his own thing going too. You know, they getting out their comfort zone. It's crazy how life, like, you know, when you're trying something new, get out your comfort zone. The people around you, everybody see it. It's gonna make them. You can impact somebody without trying, like even knowing it. Like I
That's
said, a
right.
couple of my buddies, they doing it. They getting in they different strike counts and getting out their comfort zone too. So we all traveling together to just put a show on for the kids, and
That
you know,
is,
everybody
that's
love it. That's
awesome.
what it's about.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, dude. Like even like for yourself, I mean, it's food for the soul. I mean, it makes you feel good when you know you're starting to inspire and you're helping those kids and you put smiles on faces. Like, man, that can turn a bad day into a good day for me in a
Mhm.
heartbeat, especially when I'm out there on that field. So, man, and you're right. You never know what the world's going to bring you, and and I watched a video. I love motivational speakers, and dude, you're pretty good one yourself, right there. So, like, I was
Yeah,
listening to a video, and I'm 45 years old, and I still don't know, exactly what the Lord put me here for and meant to be, and I may not know up until I'm 65 years old. I may hit that, but
yeah,
like you said, every little chapter in your life builds you and prepares you for what's meant to be. And I think that's where a lot of people get so frustrated, and they look in the mirror, and then they're looking on their phones and comparing themselves to
yeah,
Johnny down the street, and it's like they get depressed, and it's like, nah,
right,
dude, like you just building that armor for what the Lord put you here for. So
yeah. Don't
ah,
compare yourself, man. That's a lot of people, like you said, compare themselves to somebody. They might have been doing it for 10, 15 years before it started working for them. You
that's
ain't even
right.
know.
That's right.
But you can't, like I said, I've been umpiring. So I've been umpiring for 5 years. And the first like 3 years, like I said, I was just doing the basics. Nobody knew
Mhm.
who I was. Nobody cared. You know, I was just the umpire at the game. And then the kid challenged me, and I was like, okay, hold on. Challenge. I got it. Okay. I got it.
Dude, I love the challenge part, dude. What do you want to do? So where do you want to see yourself 5, 10 years from now? Where do you want to be?
5, 10 years from now, yeah, I want to be I want to be a motivational speaker. That's funny you said that. Like I
Oh
really want to be
yeah.
a motivational speaker. I just want to be in a place where I'm able to give back to the community. I still want to be so I want to be really traveling and I'd be dope to be able to travel, umpire a kids 10U game, 12U game, go turn the kids up real quick. Doing cheers with them, backflipping. And then been able that night to go have a a conference and just motivational speak to encourage people, to just continue to try stuff, and how God just putting us along the chapter, and each chapter you got to learn something and continue to build. And the person, like I was saying, you just got to continue to work on becoming a better person, and just becoming a better person. And it'd be nice to be able to do that. So travel and just have an impact with kids and work with kids and impact the adults too, young adults, older adults. Cause like I'm a person, like I'm 25, and like every day I'm just, that's one thing about it. It's hard to stay consistent, stay disciplined. Like when you got something to do, even adults, that's one thing I realized when you older, even when you older kids, when you say you got something to do, it's even harder to do it.
Oh
But once you
yeah.
start doing it, you build a habit, and it started becoming who you are. So like I said,
Well,
umpire,
let me
I'm an
tell you
ump. It's a part of me.
that's
Basketball is a part of me.
I think that's what's missing with a lot of kids is routine, habit, being disciplined and sticking to something. Like it's so easy
Mhm.
these days for us to switch between, well, I don't like this, I'm gonna switch this. And sometimes you got to
Which
go through the hard
teams?
times. You got to go through those hard times to get to those good times. And
Yeah.
man, dude, I was listening. My son and I got an 8-year-old, and we were watching Coach Prime. Have you ever watched that? The documentary on Deion Sanders last year.
Yeah, no, I ain't even watched
You
that
need
yet.
you need to watch that, man, because Prime is he's a great motivational. I don't know if he would consider himself a motivational speaker yet, but man, he can drop some knowledge. So, and I think
Yeah.
that's great for my son to hear is just hear this coach and how he's talking to his players, and I think that's what kids need is that discipline and structure around their life. And
Mhm.
man, anything they can do. I started my son beginning of this year. We started doing 10 push-ups every night. And when we
Okay.
got to like day 30, like we
How
were we
old
were
is your boy?
8 years old. 8 years old.
Okay.
Now I got a 21-year-old, so I'm kind of old, but I do got an
You
8-year-old.
spaced out.
Yeah,
Got
yeah,
you all
that
over
that
the
wasn't on purpose, but
map.
but no. And so now we're on month 4, and dude, it's just who we are now. Like that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to create. Is like I go in to tuck him in every night, and he just knows. Like just stand. It doesn't matter how tired he is. He just gets up, and we just do it. And because I
Mhm.
wanted to create that pattern for him and that discipline of like when we say we're going to do something, we're going to stick to it. And
Mhm.
I think that's super super important. So you got a lot of your friends doing some umping with you, huh? You,
Yeah,
you
I
got to
got
help
some of
us
the
fix
boy.
this. Help us fix this shortage, man.
Man, I'm trying. I'm out here recruiting. Like, come up. It's fun. It's fun. Like the kids gonna love you. And like I got 7 of them umping. So now this
You
year's
got a
we gonna be
team.
going to, yeah, we got a team. We're gonna be going to tournaments together, deep, like us four. You got this field, this dancing, I could dance a little bit, but I ain't got the dance. But I dance. So I still get out there and do my thing, try to.
Yeah.
But I got my boy, he really danced. 2 of my other boys, they dance. I'm like, oh, they out there dancing, calling they strike counts. And we all like
Oh.
in the car, I'm telling them, like, hey, you gotta get you a strike 3, man. Like, you gotta get you. So
That's
we
all.
all just trying to have fun with it, man. That's what it's
All right.
about.
Are you bringing them all to Texas with you?
Oh, nah, but if they want to, I
Well,
got
I think I'm going to be there. So we'll definitely at the Banana Bash coming up towards the end of the year. I think Lewis, BlueLou, you're going to be there, right?
yeah, I'm be
Yeah.
there. I'll be
All
there.
right. Well, me and you, you're going to teach me how to do some moves. I ain't doing no backflips or anything, but I'm camera shy, so I got to get out of my comfort zone and start doing some silly stuff. And I think that might help us a little bit because people like to laugh at me, so that's okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't dance, but I'm out there like, hey, that's one thing. Like, I can't dance, but I'm doing it. I'm finna learn, Hey, I'm finna
That's
learn how
it.
to dance. And that's one thing that's one thing. It's crazy. You gotta train it. You just gotta train your thoughts. Like, hey, you can be on camera shy. Like you say, you need camera shy now, but you could be on camera shy. How
I
you do
can.
it? Go get
Just
in
got to
front of
do
the
it.
camera and do it. And I feel like it's important to teach people that, whatever, you
Well,
gotta attack it.
that's right. Well, I'm gonna tell everybody out there if you're listening right now, I'm gonna break the camera shy, and we're gonna start doing more interactive
I
videos.
need you to
And
do a cartwheel out there, man. Like do a cartwheel or something.
look,
I know you can do that. The
I
ground dog.
now I well, hold on now, dude. Look, my daughter's a cheerleader, so she can do all like the what is it? She starts naming off all these different flips and combinations and stuff. Dude, I tell you what, I'll get a video of my cartwheel, but look, it might go viral because it may be so bad. I don't know, but I'll see what I can
There you
do. I'll
go.
see what I can put together for you.
And so you ump yourself though? Did
No,
you ump?
I'm a coach, so I help
Okay.
coach, and I try to protect Blue out there as much as possible. But every once in a while, I get a little frustrated with Blue. How do you handle a coach when he gets mad at you and she gets mad at you? How do you handle that?
How do I handle it?
Because
It's funny
you're
because
out there back flipping and dancing, and then you got somebody that's like, "All right, seriously, like we need to get this right." How do you handle that?
yeah, I handle it a lot of times. It's crazy because like whenever something happened and the coach get like two out of crazy, he starts out like, "Hey, coach, remember it ain't about you, it ain't about me, it's about the kids. As long as the kids having fun, like we can talk. But once you start acting crazy, once they start going, like it'd be a lot of times I'll be having coaches arguing. I'm like, hey, remember it's about the kids. Once you say that, you just remind them it ain't about you, it ain't about nobody, it's
Oh, I
about the
love it.
kids. I always remind them like, hey, ain't about you, ain't about nobody. I don't care about it. If you don't like a call that I said or something, you can leave. If you don't like a call, you can leave. Tell the coach that too. If you don't like a call or something, we can talk about it. But if you want to be all rude and loud, you can leave. You don't got to be here. I got to be here. The kids got to be here.
Yeah,
It's
I
about
love
the
it.
kids, and I always talk to them like that. So when I throw it out to them, like, hey, it ain't about you, it's about the kids, they always get it always hit their tone change right away. It's crazy. So that's how I be normally getting the coaches.
I
And I'm
love it.
like, yeah. So
We've
remind them.
had umpires get attacked this past year. We've had umpires get harassed, and we had Christy Moore on the show. Actually, she was one of our first guests that we had on the show. She was from Mississippi. She's the one that got hit in the face. I don't know if you saw that picture or not, but
Oh no, I didn't
she
see
got
it.
attacked after a game, and she ended up on Fox News and all kind of stuff about it. But man, I think the more that umpires take your approach, and Vincent Chapman's approach, and all these umpires that are just trying to change the environment, I think the more that we get you guys involved and get you out there, it'll just make the game better. It won't make the umpire shortage better. It'll make the game better, because
Mhm.
I think when kids are having fun, like you're saying, that's when they're learning at their best. They're paying attention. They're helping support each other. Like
Yeah, they
there's
cheering for you.
so many things that come with that. So, dude, you're doing it, man. You on the path. So I think keep working on that motivational, because dude, you got me all pumped up here, and like I love some motivational speaking. So you
Yeah,
give me some
man.
cold chills. So
Yeah, man. I be telling the coaches, but like you said though, the kids having fun. That's what I was gonna get to. A lot of times, like I don't hear nothing. Like I barely hear any complaints because everybody's having a good time. Even the parents having the coaches having a good time. It's funny. I'm out there, they do something funny. I do a little funny, something funny. I'm out. It's just a good vibe. And then I know when to not do too much. Like when I'm doing kids, yeah, I could be more. But when I'm at the high schoolers, I'm doing, but I ain't doing too much. But
yeah.
they be want to get involved too. I got the high schoolers be out there getting handshakes. They dunking, throwing alley hoops to them and stuff. Acting like I'm shooting threes when I do the strike, and they put the hoop. So
Really?
out there, yeah, I'm like doing the step back, jump shot. They got the little hoop on by the dugout. Hey, everybody.
Wow.
I'm
You know,
just fun, but it's just fun.
that teaches kids not to take themselves so serious either. Like,
Yeah,
you know what? Like you just had a moment that probably didn't feel good, like that strike three, but hey, really quickly you help them snap out of it. So, I mean, I think that's great for the kids too, because in sports you gotta have a short memory, and you got to be able to forget that
yeah.
bad play.
Next play.
And dude, that's what you're doing though, man. Like after
Yeah.
every one of those plays, you're bookmarking it and saying, all right, here we're starting a new chapter. Forget that one. We're starting a new chapter. I love it.
The team cheering.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I
Well,
do it.
you get both teams together, right? Like some of the teams come out together and cheer together, don't they?
Oh yeah, and I'm doing younger 10U, 12U. I'm coming out, getting them all in a circle. I'm like, all right, I believe that we will win. I got different ones. Sometimes I have them going up, down. Sometimes I got them spinning in a circle. So I'll find ways to just continue to, give different content out there, make it fun. And what's crazy is nowadays with the cell phones, like that's what everybody, the fans, they want that. They be all pulling themselves. They want the video too. Everybody wants, it's fun. So I'm getting all the kids together. They doing the circle. I'm I'm in the middle saying, I believe I believe that we will win. I believe that we go in the circle, then I backflip, break it down, have everybody come in, bring it together, win on three, 1, 2, 3, win. Boom. From there, the energy of the game just right off the tempo. It creates the tempo for the game, and that's all it's about. You know, whenever you evolve, you gotta in sports. Like one of my coaches always say, you gotta be the thermostat. You gotta set the tone. Somebody gotta
I
set the
like
tone,
that.
and right away from the jump, we do our cheers. We set the tone. I'm boom. I'm all right. Who gonna be louder? We are. I'm like, no, we gonna be louder. They gonna like. I'm like, who gonna be louder? The little girls. Oh, I am. I'm gonna be louder. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And they going back and forth. So right away, that tone said that we right away.
What do you notice is the big difference between umpire and softball versus baseball?
Oh, baseball versus softball. Honestly, the difference is like I said, the softball it's more cheering, so it's making the game go by way quicker.
Right.
It's way
Okay.
quicker. Baseball, they just they doing their thing, but it ain't as much. But when I'm doing backflips, even the baseball, but I do backflips, but I ain't cheering. In baseball, I ain't doing all the cheering. So I'm doing the dancing backflip, but
Yeah.
they just turn. But the difference, yeah, just the more competitive. They way more
It
serious in
is.
baseball, obviously.
It is, and
But
that's
they still eat it up. They eating it up though. The funny umpire, the funny antic. Because when I'm in a character like BlueLou. That's when that's not like I'm Lewis Williams right now. I'm just talking. But
mhm.
BlueLou, I'm in a whole different like whole different mood. It's crazy. Like I'm just sitting there, hey, just be all backflip. I'm all goofy playing, just out there, foul ball hit me in the face. I'm acting like I'm falling out. You're just out there being a character, I'm just a
Right.
quick character that I created and I'm continuing to build on. So that's one thing when I'm, BlueLou, then basketball, I got 2K ref, I'm hitting half court shots. And no matter what you're doing, I feel like you just always, whenever you got a moment, put your talent out there, do it and just be good and have fun, man. It's all life about having fun, creating memories that you can always look back on.
That's right. Well, I mean, I think your story is truly, hopefully, inspiring someone listening right now. Whether you're, excuse me, whether you're a parent, coach, or a player, like listen to BlueLou. Like this dude is making a difference in everyone's lives at the park, and I think, I know you got to go home and feel good when you're going to be tired, first of all, from all those flips. But dude, you got to feel good when you get home at night and you just finished this tournament and these kids had an amazing time. Like it's got to be an amazing feeling for you because you
That's
changed the whole environment when you're at that park, I bet.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best feeling in the world for real. But like you said, I feel it on Monday. I will wake up after the whole week, but then Monday I'm doing normally high school throughout the week, so I'm doing
Okay.
okay out there, back at it. And that's one thing, like man, just don't stop, man. Baseball it's like I played 1 year myself, but I wish I played much. Like, I'm involved around this so heavily when I'm umping. It's crazy. Baseball never end. I feel like we just ended
It
baseball.
never
So
does.
I feel like it
There's a
just
season
ended.
for every month now. I mean, dude, you finish your spring season, you go right into summer ball, and from summer ball, you go right into fall ball. So
Dome
it
ball. Y'all
never
got dome
ends.
ball out there too?
What's that?
Y'all got dome ball. Like in the winter, they playing dome
Nah,
ball in the dome
nah. We
out
don't
here.
have a need for domes here now. Our low, like I'm gonna tell you, for our temperatures, like if it gets to 32, 30, we're going crazy here, man. So we're nothing compared to what you guys are dealing with negative temperatures up there. So no, I actually got some friends that live up in Minnesota and they say they get to go play in domes and stuff, but
Yeah, playing the
we don't have
dome.
that here.
Yeah, they playing the dome. So yeah, I haven't done dome ball. I haven't umpired dome ball yet, but I feel like that'd
Awesome.
be electric though.
Yeah, like
Uh,
you be in a cage, like that's contained, like that's a lot of energy inside there.
yeah, that's a lot of energy. I have to turn the dome up one of these days.
That's right. Well, cool, man. Well, man, thank you so much for hopping on and talking to us. Definitely would love to have you back in the future because we always have umpires on the show,
Mm-hmm.
and because our goal is to add positive, vibes to the game, and that comes from
Yeah,
umpires and from everyone. And I think you as we get some of our younger umpires on here, we've had Lathan on. We've had Kyson on, but I think some of them you can be a huge mentor for and maybe even
yeah.
help their life and their navigation. So thank you so much. I got one last question for you though. We ask everybody that comes on the show. So what's your walkout song? So if BlueLou's walking up to bat or he's coming out to make that, he's doing his debut for this big game, what's your walkout song going to be?
Okay. Oh, walkout song.
Yeah.
About me, this gonna give me. I remember
Yeah. It's for
that
you.
Meek Mill "Dreams and Nightmares." I
Okay.
used to pray for times like this and grind like this, so I had to grind like that to shine like this. As it give me something about that song, it'll give me my mug.
Okay. Meek
It's that
Mill.
Meek Mill "Dreams and Nightmares." That'd be my walkout song.
Okay. All right. Dude, we've had all kind of walkout songs on here, man, and it's so fun to hear the different types of music that everyone listens to because I think music's the
Yeah,
great unifier. I think baseball and music is the great unifier and brings people together. So I always
yeah,
have to find a way to bring music into the show. So
yeah. Music, you got
awesome.
to.
Well, cool, man. Any last words for our guests, our listeners out
Uh,
there? Is tell everybody where we can find you on social media.
oh yeah, you can find me on all social medias at Stevie J Lou, 2 Y's 1 U. That's STEVEYYJAYYLOU. BlueLou Ump, 2K Ref, that too.
Okay.
Backflipping Umpire, my Instagram panel, but TikTok and YouTube, Stevie J Lou. I just want to say thank you, man. I appreciate you for
Yeah.
allowing me to be on the show. First of all, it's a blessing. It's a great opportunity to be on the show, and definitely a blessing to be on the show. So I thank you for even allowing me to be on the show.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Shout out to my fam, my moms. Shout out to anybody listening. Like he said, follow me on all platforms. I just want to say, continue to try something new, be good to people, always network, and be yourself. Most importantly, just be yourself. Don't pretend to be something you're not. Just be yourself and let people embrace you. And yeah, man, life. Just keep learning.
And don't
And
change for anybody.
nah, don't change for anybody, man.
That's right.
Along your journey, you got a chance to impact millions and millions. You never know. So just stay true to yourself and be yourself.
All
And
right. Well,
appreciate it again.
yeah, you're welcome, man. And anytime, hey, look, if you're out on the field and you see some superstars you think that we should have on this show, softball or baseball, send them our way. Tell them to
Oh
come see
yeah.
us and come talk to us because if you seeing them out there, we want to have them here. So you just keep sending them our way. And for everyone out there listening, if you've got a little superstar that you want to have on the show, you want to let them tell their story, send them to us. So you can find us on all social media platforms at the Slide Podcast Show. And make sure to subscribe, download, and share to all your friends and family. So, all right. So, BlueLou, we got one thing that we finish when we finish the show here. So, normally I have a co host with me. And what I say is until next time, and they say we'll catch you on the slide. So now you're going to be my co-host with me, and I'm going
Yes,
to say
sir.
and until next time, and then you're going to fill in the blanks. We'll catch you on the slide. You got it?
We'll catch you on the slide.
All right. Hold on
Yes,
one
sir.
second. We're going to do it. We're going to do it one time. So thank you for everyone out there listening, because I know you got a lot of choices to listen, and so thank you for listening to the Slide Podcast. So episodes will continue coming twice a week. But until then, Big Lou, we'll catch you on the slide. That's where you say it.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? Until
Yeah.
then,
Hey, we'll catch you on the slide.
there we go.